New videos every day.
Do you have back pain?
Does your neck hurt?
Do you get muscle spasms like right here in your big trap muscle or between your shoulder blades?
Does a pain radiate from your glutes all the way down to your bottom of your feet? Could you be a disc jockey?
Then this video is for you, because today we're going to be talking about how poor posture can create pain and dysfunction for people in their everyday lives. So today we're talking about posture and how it relates to our everyday lives. And the biggest issue with people is sitting posture, especially when it's poor. This is typically what people are going to look like, sitting at a desk, changing the remote for the TV, studying. We've got this big rounded spine. And this is not actually how the spine was designed to be able to manage forces and things like that, because you can imagine, like when gravity comes down and whatever you're sitting on creates a force up, the pressure in the spine on somebody who sits in this poor kind of slumpy forward shoulder posture, all the forces go in this direction. So you can imagine how that places stress to the spine. Here's where a lot of people have pain and muscle spasms. Here's where a lot of people have pain and muscle spasms. And this can even get to where it kind of radiates down into the leg, like Ron talked about with neurological symptoms. And the same thing can happen here when you get this upper back and neck dysfunction, where you're starting to get symptoms that kind of go into your arms and tingling hands, things like that. So this is where this is important in kind of realizing why that might be happening. I call this the 80-20 plan, because this means that you spend 80% of your time in this position. Whether you're at home, you're driving, you're at work, 80-20 does not work for the human body. The human body needs 50-50. So for as much time as you spend in this position, you need to spend in opposite positions. So I want you to think about this. This is truly how the spine was made to be tolerant for forces. So now when I create this force and this force, you can imagine little comes here, little comes here. The body is kind of designed to dissipate that. Here's that 50-50 plan we talked about. Because when I push here and I push here with whether it's gravity or the weight of your body, this is how the body is able to manage that. So again, this plan does not work. This is for you people who understand you've had disc herniations, you've had stress fractures of the spine, they're sometimes called spondies, or you've had radicular symptoms where the nerve pain travels down into your foot or into your hands. This creates that problem. This is actually where we can be tolerant to all of the things that life has to throw at us. So this is one of our athletes, Charles. Notice that he's super buff, which can occasionally create some problems for people who work out a lot, lift a lot of weight. But then for the everyday person who's just interested in general exercise, or for those of you who don't exercise at all, which I don't recommend, he kind of exhibits some of these dysfunctions and postural issues that we're talking about. So Charles already kind of sits a little bit slumpy. Notice his shoulders are forward, right? He's got a little bit of a rounded back, just like the picture I just demonstrated. Now, if we put Charles in a good posture, chest is out, neck is in alignment, this is where he needs to be sitting. This is hard for people, because what happens over time is he and others like him have taught his body that this is normal and this is comfortable, but this is lazy. So when you actually want to be using muscles and actually have access to your shoulders, to your abdominals, to your hips, this is where the body needs to be in alignment. So I'm just going to do a quick demonstration. If Charles wanted to use his shoulders to lift anything above his head, if he's in a slumpy posture, raise your hands above your head. You can see that this limits him, because as the spine bends, the shoulders basically have to stop here. Versus when he's in good posture, now he has access to the rest of his shoulders. So a lot of you people who have, you can put your arms down, spasms up in the traps, spasms behind and between the shoulder blades, pinching pain in your shoulders, the joint, or that dysfunction we talked about, that neurological stuff that kind of comes and travels down the arms. This is part of it. So imagine, it doesn't just affect your neck and back. This also brings the shoulders into play. This is where soft tissue is a big component of kind of helping correct poor posture. So now that you guys have been educated a little bit on how the spine works, and I was talking about that 80-20 plan, there's a couple of things that you need to do to make sure that you are trying to get out of this habit of just being in poor posture. So there's some little tricks that you can do. For those of you who spend 8 hours a day at a desk job, setting a timer at your desk, having somebody kind of being responsible for checking in with you, reminding you about, cueing you to sit up straight, having ergonomics review done by your facility or your employer are all things that you can kind of do. Or just my little voice in the back of your head constantly reminding you, because the more that you change this habit of yours, this becomes comfortable, and then poor posture becomes uncomfortable. So in this series of back pain related to poor posture, we're going to kind of show you some soft tissue techniques we talked about. I'm going to show you some stretching things that you can do at home or at the gym, and then we'll also talk about some strengthening components that you can do to kind of help create this 50-50 plan we've been talking about. So I hope you guys follow the rest of the series. Check us out. My name is Christie Powell. Again, I'm the Director of Physical Therapy at Catz in Austin, Texas, and this is Ron Vaughn. And check out the videos. Give me a comment. If not, sending this guy after you.